What if the very essence of life, water, becomes a tool of power and conflict? Today we delve into the water crisis in Central Asia, a crisis that could leave an entire region thirsty. In the heart of Central Asia, water has long been more than a mere life-sustaining resource. It's a thread woven into the fabric of history and politics. Wild rivers charting their paths have been the lifeblood of flourishing civilizations and the cause of their upheaval as people were forced to abandon once thriving oases. Fast forward to today, the issue of water scarcity has taken center stage yet again. The culprit? A grand canal being constructed in Afghanistan, known as the Kosh-Tepa Canal. This colossal structure has the potential to divert up to 10 cubic kilometers of water per year from the transboundary Amu Darya River, a source that until the 1970s provided ample water for irrigation and even sustained the Aral Sea. The Aral Sea, once a bustling hub where ships sailed and fishermen thrived, is now a stark reminder of the dire consequences of water mismanagement. The sea has nearly disappeared, its once vibrant life extinguished, replaced by a barren, toxic wasteland. And now, the Kosh-Tepa Canal threatens to exacerbate the already critical water situation. Afghanistan's decision to irrigate 500,000 hectares could lead to a severe water shortage downstream, primarily affecting countries like Uzbekistan. The issue takes on a political hue as the canal is being built without international recognition under the Taliban rule. The situation is a ticking time bomb. With the canal's completion projected for 2028, experts warn of a looming water crisis in the countries located downstream. The thirst for water could potentially ignite conflicts, turning this life-giving resource into a weapon of power and control. As we see, the water crisis in Central Asia is not just about survival, it's a complex web of politics, history, and power. At the heart of this crisis is the Kosh-Tepa Canal project in Afghanistan, a project that could change the lives of millions. This ambitious endeavor, spearheaded by Afghanistan's Taliban government, is a 285-kilometer-long irrigation canal situated in the north of the country. The canal's starting point is around 90 kilometers northwest of the city of Mazar-e-Sharif, near the Tajikistan border. From there, it flows about 10 kilometers south before veering west, running north of Mazar-e-Sharif and continuing through Jowzjan province. Its journey ends in Faryab province, which borders Turkmenistan. The canal is no small undertaking. At 100 meters wide and 8.5 meters deep, it's expected to divert up to 10 cubic kilometers of water per year from the Amu Darya River. That's a substantial amount of water, enough to cause significant changes in the region's water distribution. But why embark on such a monumental project? The answer lies in Afghanistan's struggle for economic development and food security. The canal is intended to irrigate an impressive area of 500,000 hectares, enhancing grain production, and subsequently the nation's food supply. It's a noble cause aimed at relieving the Afghan people's hardships. However, the very solution to Afghanistan's problems could inadvertently spell disaster for its neighbors. The Amu Darya River, which the canal diverts water from, is a lifeline for several other Central Asian countries. The canal's hefty water intake could potentially cause a significant water shortage in these downstream nations, particularly Uzbekistan and Turkmenistan. The Kosh-Tepa Canal project, while aiming to solve Afghanistan's issues, could inadvertently trigger a water shortage in Central Asia. So, what does this mean for Central Asia? The consequences are far-reaching and potentially devastating. The rapid construction of the Kosh-Tepa Canal in Afghanistan, set to divert a significant portion of the Amu Darya River's flow, paints a bleak picture for Central Asia's water supply. Uzbekistan and Turkmenistan are particularly at risk. In these countries, water is not just a resource, it's a lifeline for their economies. Agriculture, a major economic pillar, relies heavily on a steady water supply. With the Kosh-Tepa Canal threatening to siphon off up to 20% of the Amu Darya River's flow, the impact on farming could be severe. This could potentially exacerbate existing water shortages, threatening food security and livelihoods. Beyond agriculture, the overall water supply in Uzbekistan and Turkmenistan could dwindle, affecting millions of people. Imagine turning on the tap and finding no water. It's a frightening prospect, but it's a reality that could be looming on the horizon for these Central Asian countries. But the situation is even more complicated than that. There's no formal water sharing agreement in place. This lack of regulation and consensus adds another layer of complexity to an already fraught situation. It's like playing a high-stakes game of poker. But the rules are unclear and the stakes are people's lives and livelihoods. On top of this, environmental factors further muddy the waters. Melting glaciers due to climate change could lead to a decrease in the water flow of the Amu Darya River, intensifying the water scarcity. The water crisis in Central Asia is a ticking time bomb, with the potential to disrupt lives and economies. This is not just about water, it's about survival, it's about peace, and it's about the future of Central Asia. The water crisis isn't just about water. It's about politics, power, and international relations. The construction of the Kosh Tepa Canal by the Taliban government of Afghanistan, without international recognition, adds a layer of complexity to the already intricate issue of water scarcity. This unilateral decision not only challenges the norms of international law but also puts the fragile peace of the region at risk. The political dynamics of the region are complex and multifaceted. Afghanistan's determination to secure water rights, particularly from the Amu Darya River, has raised concerns among downstream countries such as Uzbekistan and Turkmenistan. These countries are already grappling with existing water shortages, and the diversion of water for the canal could further exacerbate this crisis. The Taliban's non-traditional governance approach and religious ideology complicate diplomatic efforts to resolve water disputes. Its governance style, which is largely driven by religious tenets, is often at odds with the secular governments of its neighboring countries. This ideological divide poses significant challenges in negotiating a fair and equitable solution to the water dispute. However, the crisis also presents an opportunity for regional cooperation and efficient water management. The countries of Central Asia need to work together to mitigate tensions and ensure sustainable water use. This could involve negotiating water-sharing agreements, investing in water conservation technologies, and implementing policies to regulate water usage. Afghanistan's energy dependence on its neighbors could also be leveraged as a potential solution to the crisis. By tying water rights to energy supply, a mutually beneficial agreement could be reached that ensures the needs of all countries are met. The water crisis in Central Asia is a test of diplomacy and cooperation. The stakes are high and the world is watching. The actions of the countries involved in this dispute will not only determine the fate of their own people, but also set a precedent for how international disputes over vital resources are resolved in the future. As we stand on the brink of a potential water crisis, the question is, what can be done? This is a complex problem, but it's not insurmountable. The key lies in negotiation, regional cooperation, and efficient water management. It's essential to recognize that the waters of the Amu Darya River are a shared resource, vital to the survival and prosperity of all nations along its banks. Negotiation is the first step. The parties involved, including Afghanistan, Uzbekistan, and Turkmenistan, must come to the table ready to discuss and compromise. It's a delicate balance to ensure that each country can satisfy its water needs without jeopardizing the requirements of their neighbors. However, negotiation alone may not be enough. This is where regional cooperation comes into play. The countries of Central Asia need to band together, united by the common goal of preserving their shared water resources. They must work in concert to develop sustainable water management practices that consider the needs of all, not just one. Efficient water management is another piece of this puzzle. All parties must commit to using water responsibly and sustainably. This involves investing in infrastructure that supports efficient water use and exploring alternative methods of agriculture that use less water. But this is not just a regional issue, it's a global one. The international community must recognize the severity of the situation and lend their support. This could be in the form of funding for infrastructure, expertise for sustainable water management, or diplomatic assistance to facilitate negotiations. It's also vital to remember that the construction of the Kosh Tepa Canal is a symptom, not the cause. The root cause is the changing climate and the increasing scarcity of water. This is a global problem that requires a global solution. The water crisis in Central Asia is a wake-up call. It's a reminder that water, the essence of life, is not just a resource but a responsibility we all share.